Okay. So, hi, evening, everybody, and nice to see you all again. Absolutely, no doubt. Plus, hi, evening, Nitya Pache. Plus, I know it is a pretty late session. Absolutely, no doubt about that point. But the slot and I had a previous class, so it was slightly delayed. So, Bache, let us start. Let us start with the visual image based discussion, that is the vibe session. And today we will be concentrating on one of the most important and the rank deciding topics in systemic pathology, that is kidney. For the new students, which I am Dr. Sushant Soni, MBBS MAMC, MD Pathology, Resident Hematology, AIMS Delhi. So, firstly, this is a totally AIMS or the NEET oriented exam session. Firstly, second point, with respect to how much Nikhil, I'll put the PDF on the Telegram group. Not to worry, bache, not to worry. The main purpose right now while studying the images here would be that we understand the topics and stuff. So the this would be mainly an AIMS or a NEET exam or a NEET paper oriented question, Ankit, hi dost. But even in the FMG segment, you very well know that images are being asked, and the images that are being asked are tough. You had 70 images out of 300 questions, which this was the feedback that I got. So for the FMG students, close to 85 to 90% of the content will be new. उसमें चिंता नहीं करनी है. Do not worry too much about it. Listen peacefully, in the sense that this would be the first time you will be exposed to so many images in the kidney, no doubt. But listen to that once, and the more number of times we see them, more you will remember. So let us start with our first image. Let us start with our first image. Now, a polarizing microscope. This is the image of a polarized microscope in which urine examination shows you this slide. Now, with respect to the PG exam pattern paper, we are expecting questions on urine microscopy. It is an important prospective topic. Let us have a look at what this shows you. What you are able to see here is the Maltese cross appearance. देखो बच्चे, all these are the Maltese cross. This is what a Maltese cross looks like. I agreed, Shaiman, totally agreed. Urine examination on polarized microscopy shows the presence of Maltese cross appearance. It shows Maltese cross appearance. Now, firstly, whenever somebody talks of Maltese cross appearance, at least in peripheral smear, the first disease that comes to your mind in peripheral smear is babesia. That is babesiosis in peripheral smear. This is urine examination showing you Maltese cross, which is seen in or which is associated by the presence of lipid droplets, which is associated with lipid droplets. Next, Hamiche, Deepak, you will be getting the PDF of this file. Not to worry, not to worry. Next point, you see the presence of Maltese cross sign under polarizing microscope in lipid droplets. Starch granules. Next, it is mainly associated with two main fungal infections. Fabry's, I agree, but rare, so I'm not writing this here. Next, two main fungus, or let me rephrase this as it is associated with the main fungus, that is Cryptococcus. Himani, very right, very right. Good. It is associated with Cryptococcus neoformans. So these are the diseases associated with Maltese cross sign. So the question that can be framed in this is, you can be given this polarizing microscope appearance and asked diagnosis is histoplasmosis, histoplasmosis. Next, nephrotic syndrome. Next, nephrotic syndrome. Next is nephritic syndrome, or the last is RPGN. Answer. Answer RPGN, or they can give it as acute glomerulonephritis. Answer. ABCD. ABCD. Perfect. I have majority as the right answer, but I wanted everybody to be right in this. देखो बच्चे, we just saw Puneet, Nehar, Chintu agreed, but we will be marking it on the poll. What we just saw was polarized microscopy. This is associated with lipid droplets. Lipid droplets look like this. Nephrotic syndrome. Chintu, it's okay. इतना आराम से sorry नहीं बोलना ना. It's okay. It's okay. So from next time onwards, we'll take care. So it is nephrotic syndrome. Nephrotic syndrome associated with hyperlipidemia, showing the presence of lipid droplets in urine, which appear as Maltese cross sign on urine examination. Next point. Next point. This gets us again to urine examination. Again to urine examination under polarized microscopy. Now the minute I see this slide, I'm able to make out that ये तो urine की slide तो लग नहीं रही. I mean, it is such a colorful slide. This is the actual appearance. It is a colorful slide. Options: calcium oxalate. These are your four main stones. Calcium oxalate, struvite. Calcium oxalate stones, struvite stones, uric acid stones, yeah, cysteine stones. I'm just starting the poll. You have been given urine examination, polarizing microscope, showing you these four options: calcium oxalate, struvite, uric acid, yes, cysteine. Answer bache. A B C D. Now, Shweta nahi bache. This is the second question. I'll show you the first question again in just a minute. So this was the second question. Now, इसमें the answer got slightly split because you were not exposed to polarizing microscopy till now. But बच्चे फिर भी थोड़ा सा comparatively easier था, because what you are able to see is all these are sort of rhomboid crystals. They are rhomboid shaped, imperfectly perfect. Totally agreed, Ayushi. Rhomboid to hexagonal in shape, making this as uric acid. Making this as uric acid. Calcium oxalate, we will have a look at the shapes of other crystals. Calcium oxalate crystals. Calcium oxalate. They are, I can divide the calcium oxalate crystals into two types. That is calcium oxalate dihydrate. Calcium oxalate dihydrate versus calcium oxalate monohydrate crystals. Calcium oxalate dihydrate are envelope shaped. They are envelope shaped versus calcium oxalate monohydrate crystals, which are dumbbell shaped. You know this very well. Next, next are the triple phosphate. Next are Yusuf will come to polarizing microscope. Just 1 second, those. Next are the triple phosphate or struvite stones. Triple phosphate or struvite stones, which have the classical 3 to 6 sided prisms. Ashmita agreed, bache. 3 to 6 sided prisms or coffin lid appearance. 3 to 6 sided prisms or coffin lid appearance. Triple phosphate. Next is uric acid stones. Next is uric acid stones, which have a varied morphology. Varied morphology means the minute you will see a slide of uric acid, you will see the presence of crystals of varying sizes and shape. Varied morphology, but most commonly they are rhomboid in shape. Most commonly they are rhomboid. And the last is cysteine stones. Last is cysteine stones, which have the classical hexagonal laminated appearance. Classical hexagonal laminated appearance. Classical hexagonal laminated. These are the various types of crystals on light microscopy. Now have a look at this. This was, let me rub off the remaining portions so that you are able to see this clearly now. What you see here is under polarizing microscopy, you are able to see polychromatic light. You are able to see the presence of polychromatic crystals. Polychromatic crystals. Ayushi, but the answer is uric acid because they are of, firstly, they are of varying sizes and they are polychromatic. बहुत सारे रंगीन कलर आने, polychromatic crystals, which is the characteristic feature of uric acid stones, which is the characteristic feature of uric acid. Under a polarizing microscope, if you are seeing a multicolored crystal, that is uric acid. Next point. Next point. This gets us to our next slide. These are birefringent, bache. Shaiman, these are birefringent. What is birefringence? Which shines under a polarizing microscope. So these are birefringent. You are getting such a colorful light. That is uric acid. Next point. Next point. Nitya, amyloid. Fair enough. Fair enough. Next point. Have a look at this. I'm just giving you the options. Your options are RBCs. Who is not able to read? Nahi, Priyanka, many people are not able to read others' comments. So don't worry about others' comments. Main thing is I am able to read your comment now. So that is what counts. So Priyanka, I can read your comment, and for that matter, I can read everybody's comments. So don't worry. Next point. Next point. So my next question is same. Urine examination is given to you. This is a slide from urine examination, which shows so diagnosis: RBCs, Candida albicans, presence of lipid, that is nephrotic syndrome, lipids, or these are urinary crystals. They have not subtyped which urinary crystals. Just the slide is given. RBC? No, but this is the routine normal light microscopy. Chintu, good question. This is light microscopy. I'm just starting the poll. These are the type of questions that we are expecting in the prospective paper. So options were RBCs, lipid, candida, yeah, crystals. Now it was slightly on the easier side. Agreed, Nitya, that was a very good observation. You are actually able to see the presence of RBCs, which are almost of similar size. Look at these round structures. They are almost of similar size. That is, these are the RBCs. But these RBCs, they are suspended in urine. That is, they are present in water. So their shape is slightly altered. That is, but this is what RBCs look like. Now, all these were close differential diagnosis. Firstly, let us start with RBCs in urine. One of the favorite examiner questions even in the past is how many RBCs are significant? More than or equal to 3 RBCs per high power field is considered as abnormal. More than or equal to 3, Ashmita totally agreed. More than or equal to 3 per high power field. High power field is 40x, is considered as abnormal. Next point, in hypertonic urine, if the urine is hypertonic, in hypertonic urine, water from the RBC will go outside. That is, it shows the presence of crenated RBCs. Hypertonic urine shows crenated. RBC का normal size and shape maintained नहीं होगा. Versus in hypotonic urine. You tell me what will happen to the RBCs? They will swell up because water will enter into the RBC. They will swell up, leading to rupture. That is, it is associated with the presence of ghost cells. They will be swollen, in turn leading to rupture. That is, they will be associated with ghost cells. Now, RBCs in urine have two close microscopic differential diagnosis. We can confuse them with oil droplets. or lipid. How do we differentiate? Oil droplets show a variation in size. Oil droplets show the presence of variation in size. Next point, let me see if I have an image of oil droplet with me in this. No, I do not. I'll show it to you the next time. Not to worry. It shows the presence of variation in size versus yeast forms or candida, which will show the presence of budding yeast. I'll show it to you. So this was RBC. Next point. This gets us to our next urine examination. This is again urine examination slide. Urine examination on light microscopy. With respect to urine examination, I've shown you 4 new slides today. I guess they would be new for almost everybody, but they are important. We saw the presence of Maltese cross sign on urine because of lipid. Himani, I guess you had asked me if this was the first slide, which this was the first one for the new students. For the new students, which I have a look again. Urine examination on polarizing microscope, and it is not tough. It is not tough. If you're able to see a Maltese cross sign, Maltese cross with peripheral smear, everybody knows babesiosis. This was last year's question. Others are lipid, starch, cryptococcus. On urine examination, it is lipid and lipid droplets and starch granules. So it would be seen in nephrotic syndrome. Second slide that we saw was polarizing microscope. A urinary crystal was given, which showed a very colorful crystal. That is, it was polychromatic in nature. Uric acid. Polychromatic, uric acid. Uric acid. Next is the presence of RBCs. This is what RBCs look like. Next is urine examination, light microscopy, showing the presence of fine silky needles. The classical description is fine silky needles, which are seen in tyrosine crystals. Tyrosine crystals. Now there are various types of crystals. I am in particular showing you tyrosine crystals because these are associated with severe liver disease. Now, point is that you were asked a question on MELD scoring in June AIMS exam. The mid-year AIMS exam 1.5 months ago had a question on MELD score. So the next level of question is the urine microscopic examination in severe liver disease, making this as a prospective question. This is how which of the questions are framed. So tyrosine crystals which appear fine silky-like appearance, fine silky needles. Next point. Coming to this gets us to the next one. This is easy. With the urine examination again, I want all of you guys to tell me this. Urine examination, microscopy, light microscopy showing this diagnosis. I want everybody to type it in the chat box. This is easy. This is very easy. Ayushi agreed. What you see here are the yeast forms, the budding forms of the yeast, that is Candida albicans with formation of pseudohyphae. Candida albicans, budding yeast form, Candida albicans. Agreed. Everybody was okay with this. Candida albicans showing the pseudohyphae. Next point. Now there are numerous Candida species. Yes, Ayushi, that was my next question to you. There are numerous Candida species. How do we differentiate Candida albicans? Ayushi, that was your question. How do we differentiate Candida albicans from other species? There are two tests. Most common fungi is Candida only. No? Candida, it is causing the infection. Next, Shimon dimorphism nahi, garbad ho gaya. First test, you are right, is the formation of germ tube. Is the germ tube test. First is the germ tube test. That is, it is associated with the germ tube formation. Candida albicans, it is associated with the germ tube formation when the species are cultured on human sera agar at 37 degrees Celsius. At 37 degrees, germ tube test. Which is the next test? Chrome agar nahi. What is a better word, Ashmita? Corn agar. Nutritionally rich medium hai ki nutritionally deficient medium hai? Neha agreed. Germ tube test is the Reynolds bud phenomena. I totally agree. My next question to you is chlamydospore formation. It is taking place in nutritionally rich or nutritionally deficient medium. Nutritionally deficient. Corn agar, which is the answer got totally split. It is nutritionally deficient medium. That is the second test is chlamydospore formation. You will be seeing all this along with the images of the same. I did not put them because that was all micro. So coming back to this, urine light microscopic examination, Candida albicans, yeast with pseudohyphae forms. Next point. This gets us to a next slide. Now, this is the next two slides are from the previous, we have seen them already. The patient of post-renal transplant on investigation urine microscopy shows this. So this is light microscopy of urine showing this. I've just started the poll. I've just started the poll. Everybody agreed in this. I expected majority of you to be right. Of course we have seen this. These are the hyaline casts. These are the hyaline casts seen under urine microscopy. Repeat question, but of course we cannot go wrong and repeat once. So let us quickly have a look at the casts. Let us quickly have a look at the casts. Here it is itself red in color. Light microscopy showing the presence of round cells in and trapped in a cast. That is RBC casts. That is RBC casts, which are seen in acute glomerulonephritis. There's a huge list of diseases associated with RBC casts. These, I'm not interested in the whole list. These are a non-specific finding. These are a non-specific finding, but among the renal diseases, they are commonly associated with acute glomerulonephritis. Next is urine microscopy showing the presence of this cast. Let us finish off urine examination. Urine microscopy showing this. First, identify the cast and then tell me which is true. First, identify the cast. You are able to make out, agreed, majority of you were right. You are able to make out that all these are the leukocytes. All these are the leukocytes, making this as WBC casts. Making this as WBC casts. WBC casts will be seen in infections. That is, it is a feature of pyelonephritis. WBC casts, which are a feature of pyelonephritis. Next point. On the other hand, chronic renal failure is associated with broad casts. Chronic renal failure is associated with broad casts because compensatory hypertrophy of renal tubule is taking place. Broad casts versus ischemic injury, which is associated with granular casts. And this is how a granular cast looks like. This is how a granular cast looks like. Sufficient. This was urine examination. Next point. For the students who joined slightly late, but not to worry, urine examination was important, so I'll repeat the initial portion once again towards the end of the session. The polarizing microscopy image with respect to urine was important. Next question. The structure marked as A. This is the A molecule. Structure marked as A is associated with, it is which protein? Nephrin. I'll give you options. Nephrin, podosin, actin, yeah, CD2 associated protein. This is electron microscopic structure of the kidney itself, showing you fenestrated endothelium. Endothelium has gaps with presence of filtration slit. These blue cells are the food processes of they are the podocytes. Podocytes are the visceral epithelial cells. I'm just starting the poll. Answer. The structure marked as A, this one, the structure marked as A is nephrin, podosin, actin, yes, CD2 associated protein. Dekho, again an important image. Again, this is an important image. Let us have a look. Now, I always remember this as, firstly, let us have a look at congenital or hereditary nephrotic syndromes. Let us have a look at hereditary nephrotic syndromes. First point, there are two main hereditary nephrotic syndromes. The NPHS1 mutation, those associated with NPHS1 versus those with NPHS2 mutations. First point, I always remember it as, I love having food. I'm a foodie. I love having non-veg food. We're talking of food here. So if my friend is giving me a party, we'll first order fish. Fish is more expensive. Then we'll say कि chicken भी मंगा लेते हैं, tasty नहीं है, and so on. So NPHS1 mutation is called as Finnish type of nephrotic syndrome. NPHS1, agreed बच्चे, Yashika agreed, is the Finnish type of nephrotic. Next, it is more expensive. So associated with abnormalities on chromosome 19 versus NPHS2 mutation, which is versus NPHS2. It was the second order. Chicken ka second order tha, which is the first piece you will pick up, the leg piece. So it is associated with abnormalities in podocin versus NPHS1, which is abnormality in nephrin. Next, NPHS2, one digit goes off, chromosome 1. Friend at 20 rupees, 19 plus 1 is 20, chromosome 1 mutation. Next point, both NPHS1 and NPHS2, both of these, NPHS1 and NPHS2, are steroid resistant in nature. Both NPHS1 and NPHS2 are steroid resistant in nature. However, some variants of NPHS1 are steroid sensitive. So if you are forced to mark steroid sensitive between the two, mark it as NPHS1, otherwise both are steroid resistant in nature. Which is more common? In the end, सबके दोस्त कमीने होते हैं. So in the end, we have to pay from our own pocket. So we have chicken more often. More common is podocin, that is NPHS2 mutation abnormalities. Next point. So this was the set of written questions. This set of written questions can be integrated with the image in the examination. What we see here is in the filtration slit, we see the presence of nephrin versus in the foot process of podocytes, where we see the presence of podocin. Easy to remember. Two things. Firstly, always remember it as this looks like a leg piece. So leg piece, podocin. So podocin is intracellular versus nephrin, which is present in filtration slit. Firstly, they can simply put a star here, ask you the chromosome abnormality, ask you the Finnish type, they can ask you anything. Next, these elongated blue ones are the actin filaments. These are the actin filaments versus the blue dot, which is CD2 associated protein. This is CD2 associated protein, an important slide. Next point. This gets us to our next set of questions. That is, now before I go to the image per se, just a sec, let us have a look at this. Most common renal lesion associated with hepatitis B virus. First point, देखो, there are 4 primary nephrotic syndromes. I can divide nephrotic syndromes into 4 types. Athena, not at all. बिल्कुल गड़बड़ हो गया बच्चे. PSGN is not nephrotic now. MCD, minimal change disease. MCD, MGN, membranous glomerulonephritis. MGN, MPGN, membranoproliferative glomerulonephritis. MPGN, and FSGS, focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. These are the 4 primary nephrotic syndromes: MCD, MGN, MPGN, FSGS. Starting with the first question, most common renal lesion associated with hepatitis B virus, associated with HBV in children, and overall. Overall, if nothing is written, we mean overall. Most common nephrotic syndrome associated with HBV is MGN, membranous glomerulonephritis. MGN, Shaiman totally agreed. Versus in adults, where it is MPGN, membranoproliferative glomerulonephritis, MPGN. Next question, HCV, hepatitis C virus, HCV. It is associated with both MGN as well as MPGN, but most commonly it is associated with cryoglobulinemia. Athena totally agreed. Cryoglobulinemia. If cryoglobulinemia is not in the options, followed by Shaiman, that was your answer, followed by MGM. देखो, both hepatitis B as well as hepatitis C cause cryoglobulinemia and MGM. But hepatitis C is more commonly associated with cryoglobulinemia, hepatitis B with MGM. All these are the high yield points. Next, syphilis is also again MGM. Hepatitis B, C, syphilis, schistosomiasis, MGM. Versus toxoplasmosis, which is associated with MPGM, membranoproliferative glomerulonephritis, MPGM. Last is leprosy, which is associated with secondary amyloidosis, followed by mesangiocapillary glomerulonephritis. Mesangiocapillary glomerulonephritis is MPGM. Totally agreed. Followed by mesangiocapillary glomerulonephritis. These are the renal lesions with these diseases. Next point. Next point. This gets us to our next question. This gets us to our next question. That is just a sec. Diagnosis. Let us start with the routine microscopies associated with kidney. Starting with the first one, I'll give you options. MCD, minimal change disease, lupus nephritis. Next, glomerulonephritis is okay, but which one? Lupus nephritis. Next, MPGN, okay, and the last is normal. Let me include that also. ABCD. Everybody, whenever you have a look at the image, Nilkant, बच्चे लिखना नहीं है ना? Mark it in the poll. Whenever you have a look at an image, look at structure, organ, disease. What you see here is structure. This is a glomerulus. This shows the presence of a glomerulus with presence of renal tubules on the side, making the organ as kidney. First point. Next, it shows the presence of capillaries with a nice open patent lumen. The lumen is patent and the capillaries are well spread apart in the whole glomerulus. This is a nice normal glomerulus. I had few students tell me the answer as MCD. Sharvi agreed. You were thinking of MCD also on this. But you are given a light microscopic image. Can I ever make a diagnosis of MCD, minimal change disease, on light microscopy? Yes, no, everybody. Can I ever make a diagnosis of MCD on light microscopy? Never, because MCD on light microscopy is unremarkable. Electron microscopy is the diagnostic hallmark. So on light microscopy, we can never ever think of signing as MCD. So the answer was no. Next point. That is why I gave you MCD as an option. Next point. MCD, you very well know that on electron, so could have been A had D not been there. Athena nahi bache. Nahi, dekho, keep it very flexible. Keep it very sort of rigid that in light microscopy, we will never mark the answer as MCD if we want to be right. Because what will happen is in the image, when given in the examination hall, you might be thinking it is normal and light microscopy, but the examiner will never do that. Because as pathologists, we cannot sign MCD on light microscopy. Never mark it. Next point. Next, diagnosis. Now, this is a spotter. Firstly, electron microscopies are asked. Secondly, the point of interest in electron microscopy will always be marked with an arrow. What we see in the first slide are the foot processes of podocytes. The first slide, agreed. This was, Shweta, your favorite. Ashmita agreed. So the first slide is normal. The second slide shows the presence of diffuse effacement of podocytes. The foot processes are lost. It shows diffuse effacement of foot processes of podocytes. Seen in MCD. Next point, diagnosis. I'm giving you options: MGN, MPGN, MPGN, FSGS, FSGS, PSGN, PSGN. These are your five options here. Diabetic glomerulopathy. Diabetic glomerulopathy. Answer. Just a sec, just a sec. By mistake, there are only four options there. But so, anyways, let me remove diabetes from the option list then. Answer. Neha, I'll go back to normal. I'll go back to normal. Just 1 second, Vijay. Now, first, let us have a look at this. Structure organ disease. The minute we see this, we are able to make out that this is a glomerulus. This is a glomerulus with presence of renal tubule on the side, making the organ as kidney. Now, what is it normal or abnormal? Abnormal. How do I know that? Neha, have a look at normal. Have a look at normal first. Let me erase everything. Neha, have a look at normal. This was a nice normal glomerulus. This was a glomerulus with renal tubule on the side, in which the capillaries have a nice open patent lumen. Capillaries का open lumen है, and they are well spread apart in the whole glomerulus. This was a nice normal glomerulus. This was a nice normal glomerulus. Versus, have a look at this now. This is abnormal. How do I know that? Because the capillaries, let me again come to this. Okay, this is abnormal because KK, हाँ बच्चे, the session will be recorded offline after 45 minutes of finishing of the session. After 45 minutes, like that is, we are done with about 40 minutes. Shaiman, I'll come to your answer, bache. But always, this is actually a very sincere advice. Please have a look at all the, especially with respect to the image-based sessions, all the live classes only. Next point, I'm sure everybody would be aware that visual image-based discussion of all 19 subjects will be conducted in the third week. In the third week of September of all 19 subjects, each subject being given 2.5 to 3 hours for the major subjects and about 1 to 1.5 hours for the minor subject. So total of 30 to 35 hours of discussion will be there in all 19. Next point, but I wanted to discuss kidney as separate because when we do a mixed bag images, so it becomes slightly tougher. Amit nahi bache, September only, that is next weekend of September. But those will be just the highly important images and the ones, you know, which are must know. Next point. So coming back to this, Shweta, every day nahi bache, yes, this will be for everyone. This will be complimentary session for everybody. This will not only be for prescribed or plus, for everybody, and it will be about 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours per day. So total 35 hours, na? So it will be over a period of 5 days. So everybody, please do attend it, but that will just take care of your must know images. All these will be the special classes. Next point. So let us come back to this problem, and those will be key. Like right now we are having an individual chapter wise discussion there, that will not be in so much of detail, obviously. So coming back to this, what we see here is, let me rub off everything so that you are able to see much better. Next point, have a look. The glomerulus was visible, in which the capillaries are aggregating together to form lobules. The capillaries aggregate together to form lobules. This is accentuation of lobular architecture. Accentuation means increase. The lobular architecture, accentuation of lobular architecture, which is a feature of MPGM, membranoproliferative glomerulonephritis, MPGM. Next point, other features of MPGN are, the diagnostic hallmark. Firstly, let us start with the diagnostic hallmark. Totally agreed, Shweta, totally agreed, which is the double contour. I'll come to IG also, but not to worry, which is the double contour or the tram track appearance. Double contour or tram track appearance arising due to splitting of basement membrane. Arising due to splitting of the basement membrane. Firstly, next we have already seen that it is associated with accentuation of lobular architecture. Hallmark was double contour or the tram track appearance. Next point, it is associated with mesangial hypertrophy. It is associated with mesangial hypertrophy and proliferation. Mesangial hypertrophy and proliferation. And the only point to be noted here is neutrophilic infiltration is also seen. It also shows the presence of neutrophilic infiltration. This is MPGN. This is MPGN, membranoproliferative glomerulonephritis, also called as mesangiocapillary glomerulonephritis, also called as mesangiocapillary glomerulonephritis. Next question. Which is the best stain? Which is the best stain for, or the stain of choice for MPGN? Your options are, just a sec, I'm starting the poll. HE, PAS, SM या MT. Periodic acid Schiff, silvermethanamine या Mason's trichrome. Best stain for visualizing MPGN. I'm actually glad that I asked this question. I was thinking, ki, let me skip this one, but Kanika agreed. Kanika Nitya agreed, but the answer totally got split between 1, 2, 3. Firstly, देखो, in renal biopsies, HND does not have much role. The distinction in a renal biopsy in a glomerulus with respect to HE is not good. Overall, if I have to use a single stain in kidney, for a single stain in kidney, we'll use PAS, periodic acid Schiff. This is overall most useful renal stain. Overall, this is the most useful renal stain, periodic acid Schiff. You know the structure stained by that. Next, but most specific for basement membrane, most specific stain for basement membrane is SM, that is silvermethanamine, SM. What was the diagnostic hallmark of MPGN? Splitting of the basement membrane. Diagnostic hallmark, splitting of the basement membrane, leading to double contour or tram track appearance. So stain of choice for MPGN, silvermethanamine. Next point. Let us now have a look at immunofluorescence pictures. Firstly, do not confuse this with amyloidosis. Just because it is green in color does not mean it is amyloidosis. No. Let us first have a look. This is immunofluorescence, showing you which pattern. Just by looking at this, I know that it is a diffuse linear deposit. सीधा इससे ज़्यादा linear क्या होगा ना? It is a diffuse linear deposit associated with Goodpasture's syndrome. Diffuse linear deposit seen in Goodpasture's syndrome. Diffuse linear deposit. Versus, have a look at this. Whenever I see this image, I always remember Iron Man 3. So agreed, it is a granular deposit. So let me give you options. PSGN, MGN, lupus nephritis, 1, 2, 3, lupus nephritis, या IgA nephropathy. All four have granular deposits. All four are granular deposits. I've just started the poll. 1, 2, 3, 4. I started the poll only because I was getting wrong answers, which in it I would have said the answer. This was last year's MEMS exam question. कुछ नहीं था. Last year MEMS, they gave you slide history, which was non-contributory, and they gave you this image. So answer had to be made on this image. This is a fact. This is what MGN, membranous glomerulonephritis, looks like. Whenever I see this image, I always remember Iron Man 3. When the villain shows the brain to the girl, this is what it looks like. Iron Man 3, remember MGN, remember this immunofluorescence. On the other hand, देखो, lupus क्यों नहीं था? In our previous integrated session, we saw that lupus nephritis shows full house immunofluorescence. This was the November AIMS question, full house immunofluorescence with lupus. Full house immunofluorescence means irrespective of the immunofluorescence that you have used, you will see the presence of a pattern. This is full house immunofluorescence. देखो, you had IgG, IgA, IgM, C3, C1q, kappa lambda, everything. Everything is showing a pattern. This was the exact image in November AIMS. This is full house immunofluorescence associated with lupus nephritis. Associated with lupus. So lupus was out. Next point. Next point. Now have a look. This was where while loop is microscopy. I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you. Now, Ashmita, coming to your question, your answer. What we see here is this is again immunofluorescence. This is glomerular immunofluorescence. This is glomerular immunofluorescence. You're able to make out the presence of a glomerulus with renal tubules on the site. This is glomerular immunofluorescence. Even if you are not able to make out a glomerulus, the examiner will tell you that. What you see here is sometimes the deposits are singly scattered, but at majority of the places, they aggregate together to form lumpy, bumpy deposits. This is not my language. This is what Robbins says for this. Lumpy, bumpy deposits. Lumpy, bumpy deposits or lumpy to bumpy aggregates, giving it the classical starry sky appearance. Shaiman nahi bache. Giving it the classical starry sky appearance seen in PSGN. Seen in PSGN. Post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis. Do not confuse PSGN. देखो इसमें lumpy bumpy aggregates ज़्यादा थे. Singly scattered was less, lumpy bumpy aggregates were more. Do not confuse PSGN, the lumpy bumpy aggregates, from this slide. Have a look at this now. In this image, the examiner is again telling you that this is glomerular immunofluorescence. Examiner is telling you this is glomerular immunofluorescence, where the singly scattered deposits are much more in number. Which cells are present singly in the glomerulus? Mesangial cells, Ashmita agreed. Mesangial cells, making this as mesangial deposits. Perfect, perfect. Mesangial deposits seen in IgA nephropathy, making this as mesangial deposits seen in IgA nephropathy. It was seen in IgA nephropathy and HSP, Hinoch Schönlein purpura. You know that HSP and IgA nephropathy is continuum of same disease. HSP is seen in children, IgA nephropathy in adults. This was glomerular immunofluorescence. Everybody, I hope everybody is comfortable till now. Yes, no? Those of you who want me to have slightly more explanation of the question, please write it as a fact. Comfortable, comfortable. So, bache, this was glomerular immunofluorescence. Next point. This gets us to our next image. Let us come back to microscopies. Let us come back to microscopies. Have a look at this one now. Have a look at this. Structure, organ disease. Firstly, you are very easily able to make out that this is a glomerulus. This is a glomerulus showing the presence of renal tubules on the side, making the organ as kidney. Diagnosis. What do you see here? Let me give you options. MPGN, diabetic nephropathy, diabetic nephropathy. Option C, FSGS. Before I go further, Sanya, IgA nephropathy, which is not linear now. IgA nephropathy is a mesangial deposit, so it is granular in nature. Next, last is lupus nephritis. ABCD. Just a sec. MPGN, diabetic nephropathy, FSGS, lupus. Answer. देखो, थोड़ा सा split हुआ, थोड़ा सा नहीं, actually major answer split हुआ. Diabetic nephropathy was last year's NEET exam question. You were nothing was given, you were just given an image of diabetic nephropathy. So firstly, do not confuse this with diabetes. I'll show you everything. Bikash agreed. What you see here is this was a glomerulus which showed the presence of thickened capillary loops. The capillary loops, they are very thick. The capillary loops, they are very thick, leading to the formation of vial loop lesions. They were very thick capillary loops, leading to the formation of vial loop lesions. Vial loop lesions, they are seen in class 3, 4, and 5 lupus nephritis. They are seen in class 3, 4, and 5 lupus nephritis, but are most characteristic, that is a better word, but are most characteristic of class 4 lupus. This is what vial loop lesions look like. It was a vial loop. It looked like a loop. Vial loop lesions, class 4 lupus nephritis. So answer was lupus. Answer was lupus. Now, many of you confused this with diabetic nephropathy. This was the exact image. Let me show it to you. This was the exact image which was asked in last year's NEET exam. What you see here is the presence of a glomerulus, agreed, showing nodule formation. All these are the nodule. All this is nodular glomerulosclerosis, nodule formation, nodular glomerulosclerosis. You know that diabetes has two patterns of damage. More common is diffuse glomerulosclerosis. More specific is nodular glomerulosclerosis. Associated with the presence of, all these are the KW lesions. Associated with the presence of Kimmel-Stale-Wilson, associated with Kimmel-Stale-Wilson mesangial nodules or lesions. Kimmel-Stale-Wilson mesangial nodules or lesions, making the diagnosis as diabetic nephropathy. Making the diagnosis as diabetic nephropathy. An important image because this was last year's NEET exam image. Next point. So do not confuse diabetic nephropathy from MPGN. Just a sec. Let me show you MPGN again. Do not confuse diabetes with MPGN. MPGN showed you accentuation of lobular architecture versus diabetes, which showed you nodule formation, nodular glomerulosclerosis. Next point. Acha, before I go further, I'll be very curious. Shifa agreed. So wait, before Shifa, let me take care of your query first. Have a look at this image. This was vial loop lesions, class 4 lupus. But suppose lupus nephritis is not in the options. Your options are what I'm writing with the green pen. That is, your options are MGN, MPGN, MPGN, FSGS, yeah, diabetes. What will you mark? Same image, nothing else is given, just these four options. MGN, MPGN, FSGS, diabetes. What will you mark? Shifa, that was for you. Next, again, the question and the everything got somehow split between all options. Dekho bache. Everybody knew this is the difference between application of theory into the image part. We have to learn this. Dekho. Everybody knew that this is lupus nephritis, or let me rephrase this as these are the vial loop lesions seen in class 3, 4, 5 lupus nephritis, but most characteristic of class 4 lupus. You knew that. My question to you is, what is class 5 lupus? Class 5 lupus, which is membranous lupus nephritis. Class 5 is membranous lupus nephritis, which is a type of membranous glomerulonephritis. So in this question, the best answer was lupus nephritis. If lupus is not given in the options, your second best answer is MGN, because class 5 lupus is a type of MGN. I hope everybody is okay with this. Shifa, this takes care of your query also, and give me a thumbs up if everybody is comfortable till this point. Next. Now, before we go further, I'm slightly curious about this. I asked you about on this on Telegram also. First, tell me how many of you are the NEET or AIMS aspirants. I'll divide the poll into three parts. Next are undergraduate students, that is second, third year, final year, anything. NEET AIMS means interns, post interns. This will be interns, post interns. Third will be the FMG students. Answer, bache. There's no right answer, so I'm marking it as D. You guys don't mark it D. There's no right answer, of course. I'm just interested in knowing the breakup of the class. Okay. So I have about 40% as NEET students and few as FMG. Now this question is targeted for both NEET as well as the FMG. UG students, we have time, bache. We have time. NEET and the FMG students. How many of you are sure that you will pass the paper? I know I asked you the same thing in Telegram also, but I'm curious here. Yes, uncertain. Yeah, many subjects are left, so dismay. Many subjects are left, so in slight dismay. Answer. Very curious just about the thought process. Yes, uncertain, yeah, left. Dekho, I asked you this question deliberately in the sense that you have to be confident of your preparation. The more number of times you think here और तो कोई option ही नहीं है, for both the PG aspirants as well as the FMG aspirants, हमें पेपर निकाल कर खत्म करना है. The more number of times you reinforce this and you think positive, more positive your result will be. This actually is a fact. I mean, it is a time tested fact. Surround yourself with positive people. It has much more impact than you can imagine. The more uncertain you are, or the more negative thoughts you will have, more negative stuff will happen. I mean, think of it as if you like somebody, and if somebody keeps on saying negative things about that particular person, even you start having doubts of the same. So do not surround yourself with negativity. Positivity have its effect. It has a ripple effect. Himani, totally agreed. So keep your thought process totally positive. Last point. So this gets us to our last image and or the last slide for today. And kidney, I can discuss it easily for the next half an hour also, but it is pretty late. Plus we will have a separate session of the same in Vibe. For the students who joined slightly later, but please do have a look at polarizing microscopic images. That was the first 20 seconds, 20 minutes of the session, polarizing microscopy of urine. Please do have a look at that. So this is our last image for today. That is, your options are benign hypertension, benign. Next, malignant hypertension. Madhushri, seriously, thanks for the super kind words. No doubt, benign hypertension, malignant hypertension, yeah, chronic pyelonephritis. These are your three options. What do they show on gross? Answer got split. Firstly, देखो, benign hypertension. Let me write it for you. Benign hypertension shows the presence of leather grain appearance. Grossly, benign hypertension shows leather grain appearance versus malignant hypertension, which has the classical flea bitten appearance. In malignant hypertension, BP is very high, so it is associated with rupture of capillaries on the renal capsule. On the capsule of the kidney, the capillaries rupture, giving it a flea bitten appearance. I'm not interested in the other diseases with flea bitten. We will see that at a later point, not in today's session. Now, have a look first at this image. Starting with, have a look at just the gross. Forget the microscopy, just the gross. What you see here are hemorrhagic spots on renal capsule. Hemorrhagic spots on renal capsule. This is the flea-bitten appearance. This is flea-bitten appearance seen in malignant hypertension. You are able to see hemorrhagic spots. Next point, Nitya nahi gadbad ho gaya. Next, have a look at the microscopy. This is a blood vessel. How do I know? It is a luminal structure with RBCs in the lumen, showing disintegration of the vessel wall. Vessel wall is broken. Disintegration of vessel wall. Disintegration of vessel wall with fibrin-like material. Disintegration of vessel wall with fibrin-like material. That is fibrinoid necrosis. Fibrinoid necrosis. Both of these together are the feature of malignant hypertension. Feature of malignant hypertension. Versus my question to you was this one. It is not flea bitten appearance. Many times students confuse this with flea bitten, but it was not. It is a case of benign hypertension showing you the classical leather green appearance. Showing you leather green appearance. Leather green appearance. Chronic pyelonephritis has a totally separate feel to it or separate appearance. We'll see it in the vibe session, in the 2.5 hour session. Microscopically, let us have a look at microscopy of benign hypertension also. Microscopically, this was leather green. This was the gross appearance, leather green appearance, versus microscopy, which shows thickening of the vessel wall with hyaline material. That is hyaline arteriosclerosis. Thickening of the vessel wall. Thickening of the vessel wall with hyaline material. Hyaline arteriosclerosis, which is again a feature of benign hypertension. Again, a feature of benign hypertension. Done. I guess absolutely sufficient for today, no doubt about it. And kidney, which I will, we have already done 2 sessions on kidney. I guess sufficient because we need to go on other chapters also. I'll take care of the remaining images of kidney in the vibe discussion. I'll take care of cystic medial necrosis and everything in the vibe. Imperfectly perfect. I want for the leaderboard, but please press the answer as A, so that everybody, this question will not be taken. Take it as A so that I can show you the leaderboard. I always forget that point. Imperfectly perfect, no doubt about it. And as usual, a pleasure interacting with everybody, especially those who attended my previous 8 to 10 class also and stuff. Neha bache, if you're on my Telegram group, all the links are there on my Telegram, or you will need to search it. Simply on Telegram, type Sushant Soni Pathology, the group will come up. All the links are there for the previous classes as well as the integrated session of kidney. Done. So the leaderboard, now I know why Imperfectly Perfect wanted it. So this is the leaderboard, but in next session we will have as the integrated session for lungs. We will do few questions integrated as lungs. I'll be posting the schedule as well as the link to the class. Done. So thank you and take care everybody. Good night.